Hello, and welcome to the Future Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Spiker Christensen. You're just such a powerful woman, and I'm so lonely. We've got Jordan Christensen on the podcast.
I'm not going to debate you, Jerry. I'm not going to debate you.
You're darn tootin'. And we've got Cameron Mickle on the podcast.
Oh, for Pete's sake, he's playing the interview. He's playing the interview.
You know, Jerry, we're not a bank, you know. And we've got Tatiana Wynn Christensen on the podcast.
I'm cooperating. Darn tootin'.
Darn tootin'. I'm cooperating. I'll do a car count right now. Right now, yeah, you're darn tootin'. Oh, guys, today we are talking about Fargo. This little ditty came out in 1996. It was directed and written by Joel and Ethan Coen. You may know them as the Coen brothers. How many of their films have we done? I could look back on my amazing new mural here, everybody. Jordan Christensen made this special gift for me. Behold.
Behold.
Look at that. It's the Future Hidden Movie Gems banner.
Gosh.
Look at that.
all our favorite quotes.
Best movies, favorite quotes. Nick Cage is on like half of these here.
It's missing
everywhere.
It's missing a few quotes. We'll add them on as time comes.
Yeah, I'll write on with the Sharpie. I'll just add them on here.
Yeah,
the best quotes from the podcast. But anyway, I absolutely love it. It's gonna be my new background, and I'll be hanging up my lit movie poster on this wall. So I'll stop looking like I'm in a creepy dungeon, you know, where Buffalo Bill, you know, rubs the lotion on the skin again, or gets the hose, or whatever.
Well, yeah, Cameron said it was reminding him of Zodiac, which is funny that the Zodiac killer is in this movie.
Yes. Well, yes. Allegedly, we don't know. He had the Zodiac.
Oh, that's right.
See, that's what's so hard about this movie. Cameron can't see him any other way. I saw him in Fargo first, so I saw him in Zodiac. I was like, I think it's such a lovely, dopey guy to seem so menacing. Like all he did was wear a watch and do a terrible police interview.
Oh yeah, and then you watch The Invitation, and you're like, oh wow, this guy actually is just creepy.
The Invitation? Was he?
Remember when he's like, I went to jail?
Oh,
that's
big
right.
guy. Yeah, he's the big guy in Invitation. I forgot.
It's so creepy.
Oh yeah, he is creepy, dude. Guys, this movie, man, let's get into it. What was it like watching this movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast? Let's start with you, Tatiana.
I watched it one time. How long ago was it, Jordan, that we watched it?
Yeah, like a month ago or something.
I think it was
longer than that.
More than that. And then yeah, like you were saying, Grant couldn't come on this podcast today.
Yeah, couldn't come on. He could come
he's
on.
Playing Rocket League. Yeah, I have nothing to add.
Playing Rocket League.
He'd rather play video games.
I did not have time in 2 minutes to watch it again, but the first time it was great. I liked it.
Yeah, I was going through a huge Coen brothers phase, and I was showing Tatiana like every single one of their movies. And
is that one of the movie sets that you asked me? So which one's your favorite by this director?
I mean, I've done that with most of them. I can't remember if I did with this one, but it was the Nicolas Cage one we watched where he's not Sweet Home Alabama. What's
Arizona.
that? Arizona. Raising Arizona. And then we watched Big Lebowski, which is also really fun.
Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? There's probably some ones.
No Country for Old Men is them as well, right?
Yep, No Country for Old Men.
And No Country for Old Men. Yeah, we still need to watch that one together. So
yeah.
A Serious Man, Inside Llewyn Davis, and
yeah, we've seen Inside Llewyn Davis. We watched that on our Scruggs. We watched that on our honeymoon.
And I think Joel Coen did the we did the Macbeth one, right? Did we do that on the podcast?
Yeah, that's right. Tragedy of Macbeth. Yeah, that was crazy.
I think that was only one of them. Yeah, Joel Coen, you said.
Yeah,
that's right.
It wasn't both of them attached to it, but I wonder what the other one was doing. If they're not making movies together, dude, get back to making movies. I think I put them as my number one director, the Coen brothers, as my favorite directors because they just have the most hits. Big Lebowski, you know, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and No Country for Old Men are some of my favorite movies like ever. They're in my top 100. So
yeah, do you think Fargo? Like, I think it's up there though with the best, right?
It's in there. It is so weird when I think about it. To me, it's like I just think No Country for Old Men is a superior film, so it's hard for me to be like put both of them in my list. But that seems so selfish because I know Fargo is a better movie than most of the movies in my 100 list.
Well, yeah, I know, right? Well,
But
isn't
it's
the ending
hard.
though so similar to No Country for Old Men? I was totally
It
thinking
is.
about that.
It literally
Yeah,
is. It's
same
actually like
ending.
the same ending. But I don't know. To me, it's like I almost like No Country for Old Men hits you in the feelers more because it was so sudden and so unexpected.
And it's not as funny.
This one, yeah, this one almost was like, oh, I get it. Like I understood. At least I felt like I understood this movie a lot more than I understood No Country. So to me,
Well,
I think no.
I
Yeah.
feel like this one's way less unsettling because you're laughing majority of the time and everyone's such a
Yeah,
character.
this is
Whereas in No
yeah.
Country for Old Men, you're just
Yeah.
so uncomfortable every single time Javier Bardem's on the screen. You're just like, I don't know if I could ever watch this again. This is so creepy.
Yeah, Javier Bardem, there's just something funny looking about him, just in a general sense,
You're
Oh,
quoting
just funny
Fargo.
looking.
It's just funny
how.
looking.
Oh,
Looking how?
just the general sense.
General.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, one of them was okay. Any other description you can give me? I love it.
Anything apart from that?
Anything apart from that?
Just funny looking.
Just funny looking in general. Dude, Steve Buscemi. This
He
is like such a
killed
great
it.
yeah,
He's so funny.
he's great. It's so funny to see
Can
him in
Can we just mention that these directors know exactly where to put actors and like the perfect roles? I just like everything Steve Buscemi is and how he's delivering it is so good. Just
yeah.
like I love when he's in
His
the
character.
but
I was just saying his character reminds me a lot of him in Reservoir Dogs. I feel like they're
yeah.
very similar.
Also another director that knows how to use him perfectly. And I mean Steve Buscemi, he's killing it though. I love his performance. It's just great.
Yeah. Dude, and he does play like such a great, and like like even his bullet wound is weird. Everything is weird about this movie. Like
Yeah.
foot sticking out of a wood chipper. It's all weird. It's like such a strange movie. And I think this is a really fun one where after I've seen it, I always think like at least it's comforting enough where I feel like I can recommend it to people. It's not like so sadistic, but it is like there's definitely some grisly moments, but it is like a sweet dark comedy. Kind of feels more like what do you call it? Like with a lighthearted ending, maybe, like Frances McDormand and her husband, like they play such a sweet couple that like nowhere is that found in No Country. Like there's nothing I can point to in No Country that's like endearing. That's why I love the movie so much. And I make my wife watch it and she probably is like, there's nothing to like about this movie. And I'm like, I know. That's why I love it. It's like Fargo, it's too sweet. I need it like darker. I need it anyway. Let's get into it. Cameron, what about you? What was it like watching it for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast?
I don't remember exactly when I watched it for the first time. I'm pretty sure it was back in high school with Jordan. I just remember I'm pretty sure we watched it after I watched season 1 and 2 of the TV show, correct?
Oh,
Jordan?
really?
I think so, yeah.
I think we watched season 1 and 2, and then it was super cool to watch the movie because I was like, oh my gosh, this is how it all got started, because then it shows like the before and the after in the season 1 and 2.
Well,
and
I mean,
then-
I think the only like real big connection is the
The
suitcase,
money.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd say the location and obviously the tone, because they nailed it
Oh,
with the TV show.
I mean,
the
when
first
we're
few
talking
seasons.
similarities, there's a lot of similarities.
yeah.
Like even when he's on the like practicing before he makes the phone call to the dad, I love he's like, Gene, Gene.
Oh,
Gene.
my gosh, Gene. Oh, jeez.
And then I love when he
geez.
finally answers the phone and he's like, yeah, I'd like to, and he just talks with a normal voice.
Talks totally normal. He's not upset at all. It was so great.
Oh,
And another great snippet is when he's like, Mr. Anderson, open up. Some detectives want to talk to you. And he goes, who? He forgot his fake alias he gave to him already at the hotel at the very end. He's like, who? Anderson? Jerry is so stupid. I love Jerry. He's like the most incompetent, bumbling, like fool. Like he's like the least likely person to get away with a crime. It's just so good. Oh gosh.
well, he doesn't.
Mr.
I mean, that's
Anderson.
why.
Who? He calls it from the inside of the hotel. Who? Anderson?
Well, and he might have just,
He gave him.
he might have forgotten. I like that better, that take on it, but he might have also been like trying to like escape like he was. And like, I
Well,
don't know
no,
who you're
he
talking
definitely
about.
was trying to escape, like because they said, like, anyway. Yeah,
Well,
who?
I watch a lot of like Patty Mayo bounty hunters, and all the time they're like, "Who? I don't know who you're talking about."
Oh, I don't know who that is.
And then they quote. I don't think this is from Wolf of Wall Street, but who
I
are you, a freaking owl?
yeah, I will give you the benefit of the doubt, but I have to say it's in keeping with his character, but the fact that he may have forgotten his alias, partially because, like you mentioned, the phone call. That's such a great moment where he's like, oh, he's like rehearsing how he's going to sound so distraught,
Yes.
and then he's like, oh, put me through the. He's like totally nonplussed. He's like,
Yes.
because
Well,
he's
and then
totally caught off guard,
later on, he was like
rehearsing how he's.
at the restaurant, and he was like all smiling. And when he's talking to his son, he's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." Like it's like he's like way too like chill about everything.
Dude, oh my gosh, or even with the police when she tells him the joke, and he's like. Like he like bursts out laughing, and she's like, "So, any reported cars stolen?" That's so good, dude. He's so bad. He's so bad. Oh, I love it. Jordan, how about you, man? What was it like watching this
Wait,
movie?
I didn't
Oh,
even.
did you
Yeah.
not finish? Sorry, Kim, we interrupted you.
So yeah, the first time
Rewatch.
I watched it and really enjoyed it, and it was in my top 100 now. So I was a little nervous rewatching it because it'd been so long. But I was just impressed at how well it holds up, and I guess it's just because of their writing and the characters that like every single time seeing them on screen is just so fun. Um, and I was just really impressed. I forgot kind of like you guys were mentioning how grisly it is. I remember I don't remember like the wood chipper part or like the end shootout. I was just like, oh wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it still holds up and it's amazing.
Yeah, I always thought like the wood chipper would just suck a human through, but somehow it's like so real and gritty that like it's so slow moving, and he has to like get a plank of wood and like force it in. It's so gross. It's like so sinewy, and it just won't pulverize or whatever. It's just like all spread out, like I mean, like a huge bloody snowbank. Like it's just shredded this human. Oh my gosh, horrifying. Oh, it's great. Jordan, how about you, man? What was it like watching it for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast?
The first time I watched it, it was before I was like avidly following directors, and so I just enjoyed it for a dark comedy because I do love dark comedies. But now watching it on rewatch, it's just like, I mean, you're enjoying so much more because there's so many little details and there's so much about it to love. And like Cameron said, the writing is seriously, it's just when there's so much garbage out there right now, it's so refreshing and so nice. And every time I'm gonna rewatch it, I'm like kind of hesitant. I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm really in the mood to watch that." But as soon as I watch it, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good. It's amazing." Like, I mean, you're talking about some of the best writers in Hollywood easily.
And the best writers that still can manage to produce the most cringeworthy not date scene I've ever seen in a movie before.
Yes.
You're so awesome. You're so awesome, Margie. Such a strong woman. I'm so lonely. That's like my favorite line. I think my wife watched that scene and it's so cringe-inducing. She has to like cover her ears and be like, "Stop! You can't stand it." She's so uncomfortable for Marge and for the guy. What's his name? I can't remember his name. What was his name?
No, you can sit over there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, let me sit over here. No, I think you should sit across from me. Yeah, I have to keep turning my head. Oh, sorry, Marge.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, Margie. No, I just can see you better. Sit across from me. Oh my gosh, that's great. And I also love so my first time I watched this, I have to say I started it in high school, but then I finished it in college, I think. Because I do remember thinking like someone recommended it to me, and I don't think at that time I thought Fargo was gonna be like a really cool Western gunslinging action movie, but it's like a slow burn detective story. Definitely character driven. So I think I might have just thought, oh, like it's not the movie I expected. Something similar happened to me when I watched Inglorious, where I thought like, oh, I thought this would be like an action movie, or one of my friends after we watched it in college, he's like, I thought there'd be like more Nazi killing, but like years later, I'm like, I'm so relieved that's not all it is. There's so much more to enjoy about it, and that's this movie. So rewatching it was an absolute joy because I haven't revisited this movie since I think right around the time Jordan you got me hooked on the Fargo TV show, the TV series with about Thornton and all them. And Martin Freeman. See, and I think, see, what's funny about I mentioned the show. there's so many similarities between season 1 and this one here, except the introduction of like a more menacing serial killer. I almost feel like Fargo, the TV series, the first season, is like it's a bridge between No Country for Old Men and Fargo. Like
Yeah,
because you have like the menacing Billy Bob Thornton
Billy
character
Bob,
that plays in as
so
a
good.
stand-in. Billy Bob, it plays in a stand-in as the freaky bowl cut. He looks like a manic baby, Cameron. You have a quote here, Javier Bardem in No
Yeah,
Country for Old Men. So playing that serial killer part, and then Martin Freeman plays like the Hobbit or whatever. He plays like a perfect William Macy stand-in where he's like belittled, emasculated by his wife, which we don't see as much in this one. We never see like he and his wife's relationship much, but you see his father-in-law always emasculating him and always demeaning him. Um, so you get this, it's like that same character, and he
yeah,
finally just releases that, pent up hatred, and he finally, attacks his wife in the show. I just like that. So anyway, revisiting this was a lot of fun, and I forgot just like Cameron said, how masterful this movie was and how much I enjoyed from it. Like it's just like there's so many scenes in this movie, I'm like, I forget it's this movie. Like I feel like I should know everything in Fargo, and every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, I forgot Steve Buscemi was in this movie. Like watching it, like it's just so weird that I forget about all these different things. So anyway, very surprising rewatch. I
I'm
gotta
so
watch it
excited to
more.
get into quotes. So there's so much fun stuff.
Oh, so many
And
quotes
a
from
lot
this
of it
movie.
comes from Steve Buscemi. Just like, no, last 4 hours, that's the one word you can say. That's a geyser of conversation.
Yeah. Oh, two can play this game. Total silence. Not gonna say anything. Total silence.
Silence.
He just keeps talking. I love it. So let's get into two of our favorite things. Cameron, why don't you hit us off? What are your two favorite things from Fargo?
I think my first favorite thing is just like how unique each of the characters are. And that just kind of goes in just with the Coen like brothers style of how everyone like it's just so interesting to like listen to them and hear them talk, and how each of them has like just their dialogue is so much more natural and just organic, because a lot of times you can just tell like, oh, this is written for a script. And I just am so impressed that so many of the things they say, like the conversations are always kind of like a slight bit awkward, and it kind of seems like nobody really knows what's going on. And so that's what even adds like more to the humor, is because some people just, you can tell like they don't know what's going on. And like the awkwardness of that date, you can just tell like those cringe moments because things are said and you're just like, oh, this seems so real because of how like awkward and like unnatural it is, but at the same time organic. And then my second favorite thing, uh for me, I just love, like, I'm so impressed with films that can make like a character whose physical power seems so little, like such a cool like protagonist. Like, because Marge is like a pregnant like mom, or gonna like soon to be mom police officer. Like she could just so easily be overpowered by almost any single person. And she's just in this like podunk town where she probably never ever dealt with like an actual murder or crime. And that's what I just love, is like even though all of that happens, she's still like such a interesting protagonist, and like you grow to love her and her family. And that's why I think the ending, when it shows her family, that's what kind of like brings that lighter tone of like, oh, like she's just like protecting her family and her town.
The loyalty to family members, man. No loyalty, no honor amongst thieves, right? That's the whole lesson of this movie, Cameron. I love that you touched on that. But now my mic's going to sound differently. But anyway, Tatiana, go ahead and tell us two of your favorite things with this movie.
Well, don't you know, I love the accents so much.
Oh, yeah?
Oh my goodness. Like,
Oh, yeah?
for me, I don't think before Fargo, and I haven't seen the TV show. For me, I don't think I've seen many movies or TV shows where they really depict this culture and this accent quite like they do, or try to depict it at all. But wow. So that's like, honestly, it's my two favorite things. The way they depict the culture. Like, you're talking about how like they are so nice and polite, and then also the accents themselves. It just was so good. I felt like I was immersed in the actual land. And you live close to, I mean, like Wisconsin, Ty, right? So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're a bunch of hosers out here. Yep. Really friendly, real friendly type.
yeah, so I don't know if you'd say like, yeah, pretty accurate, but I don't know. It
I,
was
yeah,
so
the further north you
comforting and
go, the more
calming.
accurate it gets.
Yes.
Love it.
But I heard a little bit of that in Wisconsin when I was working there.
yeah?
I heard it a little bit from some of the people that I just like how they'd say that quite a bit. They're like, oh yeah, when you talk to them
Oh,
in
yeah?
conversation, they're like, oh yeah, oh yeah,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, I'm shocked. Yeah. No, super friendly, polite folks out here, that's for sure. Midwest is great for that.
It was so refreshing. I loved it. So
Great stuff. How about you, Jordan? Two of your favorite things from this movie?
Yeah, Cameron already touched on the writing and the characters. I mean, all their movies are like that. And so like, and I'll never get sick of it. I mean, they can keep making them and I'll watch everything they ever do. So
What is it? Is it I've been thinking about this a lot because Tarantino, it's almost like everyone's a quick talking, tells a little monologue about something that has seemingly nothing to do with the story at hand. That's kind of like Tarantino's MO. And like for the Coen brothers, it's like they all have like a weird tick or something, right? Like, what is it? Like every single one of his characters has something. Like I just rewatched one of my favorite, The Burn After Reading, and every character down from George Clooney to Brad Pitt, like they all have such weird personalities. Like,
yeah,
and I think part of it almost reminded me of the Merowitz stories where they were talking over each other. The characters kind of do that here
yeah,
too. Like they're just always interrupting each other. Like, I don't know. And it made me think of that. But I'm like, what is it about the Coen brothers characters that are so like they leave such a mark on your mind, right?
yeah.
Like every single one of his characters, from anyway, it just blows me away. But I totally agree. How do they do it? I mean, it's just like they don't write unforgettable characters. Every single one of them stands out. It's just really impressive. It's just goodness gracious me alive. Just to write one character as unforgettable as anyone
Oh
from
yeah.
this movie. Yeah.
And even if you meet them for just a second, like the two girls when they're interviewing them, they have so much character. And
Yeah.
and I love it because you almost could make an entire movie just based on that one person, but
Oh
they
yes.
put them in just that split second and you're
Just
like,
a split scene, and they're unforgettable people. They just
uh-huh.
no one can blend into the
They
background. Everyone is brought to the forefront
yes.
of this movie. No one
They
hides. No
they
one just
told
goes
me
unnoticed.
they
Yes.
told me to call it in, so I'm calling it in.
Yeah.
Like even he was a character. So
Yeah.
good. I'm not
Oh,
that kind of a person. Who do you think I am? Well, who do you think I am?
it's
What do I look like to you?
I can't find the serial numbers. Oh, they're there. They're all there. I know. We just need to know that the cars exist, that we're backing up this. Everyone, every single like people getting frustrated, like William Macy's like getting backed into a corner. He's getting all agitated. That's great.
Yeah.
So I would say two of my favorite things. I love the setting where this takes place. Tatiana, you mentioned the people and the accents and stuff. I love the white backdrop, all white. It's very memorable where you see the movie poster where it's like an overturned vehicle and some dead guy laying on the ground. It's just like a very iconic. Like instantly you could guess the movie and everything just by a very simple shot, and it just stands out from
Cameron
the
pointed
rest.
that out when he pulls up and the old man's on the ground dead, and then the
Yeah.
trunk just opens up. Cameron's like, "Yes, show don't tell, thank you."
Yes.
It says
Yeah.
so much about
Yeah.
like the character and the situation.
Yes. And it's great too with Marge's character, how quirky she is, getting out of the car, like she's looking at these dead bodies, and you don't get the impression but she doesn't seem phased at all by it. She's not like horrified. She's just kind of like treating it like it's anything else, right? Like it's like, oh yeah, it looks like. What do you think? What do you think happened over here? Oh yeah, and he's like,
I'm
"Well,
gonna
I
have to
think
disagree with your
I'm gonna
police.
have to agree with your policing." But then like she like crouches over and he's like, "Oh gee, Marge, you see something else?" "No, I just think I'm gonna barf." He's like, "Oh yeah," and then he's like, "No, it passed. I'm hungry now." She's like hungry. She's looking at all this carnage and she doesn't seem phased at all by it. She's
Yeah.
a very strong person. I just like how you can write a very strong female character that's not like I don't know,
It's
like
not Brie
every
Larson.
strong female. Yeah, that's not Brie Larson these days. Not written by men, obviously. Even though this one was, and she's funny and she's witty and she's super cool. Total bad A, solving murder mystery. Solve this crime with the baby on the way. That's a pretty awesome BA chick, if you ask me. Like,
Yeah.
it's very sweet at the end, where she's given Gear like a total lecturing. I love that. Like just like a mother would. You're so. It's like, there's more important things in the world than just money, Like, I love that scene. It's
Yeah.
so great. He's just sitting in the back and he's just like, oh my gosh, I have to endure this. And she's just like, and it's a beautiful day on top of that. And then she goes home and she's snuggled up with her husband. I just love it. I just love it. So to me, the heartwarming ending is so great. The whole feeling of this movie about relationships and like connectivity that you have, loyalty to the ones you're with, or the ones you pair yourself with. So love it. And what's his face? The painting the doves or whatever, or they're not 29-cent stamps, but they're the 3-cent stamps. It's very sweet. It's just a very sweet
Norm.
moment. Yeah, Norm. Norm. What a great name.
Yes.
Normal dude. Yeah, he's probably the most forgettable, but you don't forget him because he's so
Yeah.
sweet. But anyway, I find that really fascinating at the very end, where this whole movie is culminated into this boiled down to this very sweet, tender moment at the end. And she doesn't even steal his thunder. It could have been like, oh, your stupid stamps. Like, I just solved like a huge crime ring, like a serial killer, and stop this heist and a kidnapping. But instead, she's just like shows interest in what her husband's into, these dumb, lame stamps, and his drawing. I love it. It's very sweet.
Even the guy you called him a serial killer, the one that pushed Steve Buscemi into the
Gary,
shredder. This is
terrifying.
one of my favorite roles of him. Like, I do love him in Prison Break and what's the John Wick? Like, he's really fun. He killed the man with a pencil, a fetching pencil.
Yeah. And
But-
he was also in I always think of him as the eyeball guy from Minority Report.
That's
He's
right.
the creepy wipes
Yes.
his nose, does the eye surgery for
Like
Tom
the most
Cruise.
unsanitary man to
Yes,
get
he's
your
got
eyes
like
done
old
from.
milk and sandwich in his fridge next to the
Next
new
to the
milk and sandwich.
nasty.
When he's blind, he tries to eat it and tries to drink the milk. It's so gross. Gross out humor, dude.
But I just love how he's like always zoned out, and he just looks so intimidating and freaky. You're just like, what is going through his head right now?
Bailey has a cigarette in his mouth.
I know.
Yeah,
It's just like hanging on his lip.
Yes, I know. Terrifying.
And she was shrieking. Oh, creepy. I want pancakes. We just had pancakes.
We just had pancakes. We're getting fetching pancakes. All right. Let's stop over. We can get, and then you can get pancakes.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's what a goof. You know what's so weird about that too? Like I'm taking the car because I've been shot in the face. No, he's like, you're gonna give me your half of the money, and then he just takes like 5 steps out of the house and he chases him with an axe, like in an instant of a second. Like he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna kill him now. No, wait, just takes an axe and swings it right at his neck. It's just so crazy. Dude.
I love that too. There's so many times where he could have gotten away, but because of his greed, he wouldn't just split the car. And he even lied to the guy about the 40,000.
Yes.
Like he said, oh, there was only 80,000. Here's your 40,000. But he found $1 million, and he was still not willing to just give him a little bit more money for the car. It's like, wow, seriously. And like the same with like this whole situation was because of Jared. Wait, what's Limeguard? What's the main guy's name?
Jerry Lundgaard.
Jerry. Yeah.
Oh,
Jerry.
yeah,
Why can't I remember Jerry? Of course it's
Jerry. Yeah.
like Gary from Parks and Rec.
But, or Jerry from Rick and Morty. That's what I was
gonna
thinking
say,
of.
you're not gonna say like Jerry from Rick and
Jerry
Morty.
from Rick and Morty. It's probably more.
I was thinking Parks and Rec as well too.
He'd rely on
I
2
wasn't
Ricks to
even
kidnap
thinking
his
Parks
wife.
and Rec. What in the world? What is
Yeah.
this right now?
The biggest fan of it.
Well, isn't his name? But that's the whole joke. His name is Jerry. It is Gary. And he's like,
It's scary.
they're
Never
calling
calls
me
him
by their real
Jerry.
name.
Larry, Barry.
Very, yeah, they've called me everything down the line. And he's finally back to his real name. So funny. Good stuff, man. Golly. Do you guys have any nitpicks or quotes you want to throw out? I was just thinking they repeat so many lines of dialogue. Like I mentioned earlier, he's like, we're not a bank here, Jerry. I don't know why that the 2 guys just condescending him was so great. I love that. They're like, hey, if I wanted money and interest, I need a stability. Like, what can you give me? Oh, it's a solid deal.
I don't want your word.
I just think he's like a perfect embodiment of like an annoying father-in-law, like a disapproving father-in-law.
Yes.
Like
you told me it'd be 1920, mister. What was it? He's like, oh, I just went back and it turns out I was able to get $100 off. I can't remember what he says, like off the windshield wiper fluid or something like that. He's just like, you're a liar. fetching liar. It's just like Donnie.
It's true coat, Ty. The true
It's
coat.
true coat. The true coat. If you got to get the true,
You gotta
coat,
get the
otherwise you
true
the little
coat.
bubbles in there. Yeah, it's so painful to watch him like fumble his way through like upselling this couple, upcharging them for this stupid true coat. Oh, so painful. We had a deal, mister. They were that couple was a character, man.
Yeah.
Like that guy, you lied to me. You're a fetching liar. So great.
And you
Oh
can
my
tell he's not a
gosh.
swearing man. You could tell
I,
like, that
dude,
really
that
hurt him.
okay. Yes, when he said it to it, like pained him to say it.
Yeah, it pained him to say it. Yeah. And his wife
Fetching
too. You
liar.
could see she
Oh,
winced.
how dare you say that? Dude, he was so hurt. And he's
Yeah.
just, and he even says, he's like, I'll go talk to my boss. And when he goes talk to his boss, he's like, hey, you have tickets or whatever? He's like, are you kidding? You're like, he doesn't even ask about
Yeah.
the true code because he knows what the answer is.
Yeah.
But he has to put on this song and dance, like, oh, I'll go ask and see if I can get your.
See, that reminds me.
reduced.
If you've seen Spider, what's the one with Miles Teller and
Into the Spider-Verse?
no,
Oh, I'm sorry, Miles. I thought you meant Miles Morales. What are you talking about?
Miles Teller and
War Dogs?
and Chris Evans. I'm not Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller.
Oh, that new movie that came out, right?
Yeah, the spot. It's like
Spider something.
Spider. I haven't seen this. What is this? Miles Teller
It's
and
on Netflix.
Liam Hemsworth or Chris
Cameron says
Harrison?
it's just meh, right?
yeah, it's mad best.
Two good actors. It's too bad.
Spiderhead. Yeah, and
Spiderhead.
Spiderhead. There's a scene where he's like, "I'm gonna go talk to the board and see if we can get this approved for the
No,
treatment."
wait, Cameron.
And then
Spiderhead is a more accurate title for the movie Enemy. I don't think you're. I don't
and then
think
he
you know what
and
you're
then
talking about.
because he's like,
Spiderhead.
I'm gonna go talk to management and see if I can get this approved for the treatment. And then he just goes and gets coffee and starts flirting with a girl, and then he comes back and goes, sorry, I really fought for it, but they couldn't get it approved.
They couldn't do it. Yeah. Well, sorry, nothing I could do.
So funny.
Yeah, there's something about sales jobs that know, like, oh, I'll go talk to my manager, and they already know what the answer is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just like it gives the customer just only one shred of evidence that, like, I tried.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't talk to higher management. They're not willing to, meet you halfway. It's great. Anyway,
Yeah, it always cracks me up when people are like, I want to speak to a manager. I want
I want
to
to speak to a manager. Yeah. I'm talking to
Oh,
your
somebody
manager.
somebody who's better at finessing people. Okay.
Yeah. You want him to come in here and close the deal?
I think people just want to be heard, and
for
yeah.
sure, or
Yeah,
just
feel
complain.
important.
It feels it feels good to vent every once in a while. Other quotes you guys think of or scenes?
You like this kind of work? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
just-
my favorite is just the.
I bet you. Ty,
Oh,
did you think
yeah.
about your Did you think about your trip on the plane when the guy's like, but you got to pay the $4, and he's like, I bet you feel like an authority figure, huh?
Dude, that toll okay, I was saving that for my quotes. Dude, the toll booth guy where he's just like, hey, he's like, I decided not to park here. And he's like, you already came in through the thing. He was so good. He was so good.
Yeah.
Big, tall, lanky guy, weird teeth. He's such a he's like the dweebish man. He's just like, why'd you fetch $4? Like a big authority figure, man. Oh, I love it. Steve Buscemi just giving it to him.
Yeah.
So pissed off. Like, I just drove in here. I'm not even gonna park here, and you're gonna still charge me. He's like, well, you came in here. You may have not decided to park, but like you come through the gate. Everyone pays. That's the rate. $4. It's so good. I love that exchange. Throws the money. Watch the Steve Buscemi so upset. That's great.
This one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Sir, you have no call to get snippy with me. I'm just doing my job here.
Or I mentioned the awkward date. Remember after the awkward date, she's talking to her friend and she's like, oh, wait, he never got married to Leslie. Like, Leslie's fine. She's like, wait. Leslie's fine. He's like, yeah, he has like some crazy mental thing because he's still living with his parents. Leslie's fine. You should give her a call sometime. He made up this whole story how he married this other girl from her class, and then she died of cancer. It was like all fabricated. I just miss her so much.
But I think his sadness was real. Like, obviously, his story was fake.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some sad sap still living at home. Oh
yeah, but and she said he had mental issues. So I mean,
You're such a strong woman. I'm so lonely. That's like my quote. I need that as like my ringtone. I'm so lonely.
I don't remember this part, but apparently she's like, my car, 10 Sierra, 10 Sierra
Oh, it's
over
she's
the
saying,
radio.
yeah, she's talking. She recognizes the car,
Yep.
because she's the whole time she's been looking for, that specific car. So,
And
and it,
Macy
what were you
provided
saying,
them.
Carol?
Oh no, I was just saying at the end of the movie, when like the snowplow drives by, apparently like that actually wasn't in the script, and there was like a sign that said like it warned motorists not to drive through, but the state employee just ignored it and just drove through like their filming session.
I love it.
Yes.
It's so funny.
And I
That's
love when that kind
awesome.
of stuff makes it into the film because they're like, "Oh, it's a great shot."
And I think it's super cool
Great.
also because like going in with the writing, the Coen brothers actually wrote the role of Carl for Steve Buscemi.
Wow.
Oh, really?
That's
I love when
Yeah.
they
I
have
believe
someone in
that.
well, and he must have had a sense of humor because like there's no prosthetics. It's just who he is, and they describe him as like generally funny looking. And they like I love Steve Buscemi for willing to like play along because like he didn't really do anything to like gussy up his appearance or anything. He's just kind of a goofy looking guy, and so the fact that he's willing to take those shots, I just love it.
Yeah.
He has a sense
And
of humor
George-
about himself, and it works with this movie. It's so great.
And George, did you know that
Funny
the
looking in general.
cinematography in this was Roger Deakins?
That doesn't surprise me. I think I can't remember if I knew that already, but that makes sense why it looks so freaking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deakins
Because
has
he's a
shot a
master.
lot of the Coen brother films. Who else does Roger Deakins collaborate with?
He did 1917. He's done No Country
That's
for Old
right.
Men, which obviously is Coen Brothers.
Right.
But
And I know he did Oh Brother. He's done a lot with them. I'm just wondering
Skyfall.
who.
He's done.
Skyfall, yeah. He's shot
He's
some
done Blade Runner
beautiful films.
2049.
He shot some beautiful films.
That's what it was. Blade Runner 2049. I love what they worked with Denny.
Also Unbroken and Prisoners.
I'm
And
broken.
he also-
He won a beautiful shot film, dude. And it's to
I
me, it's
love
such a
Unbroken.
testament to like the location that they're at. This is just so unlike a lot of the other films you see today. Like, you mentioned Blade Runner. There's so much going on in that in your shot there. With this one, it's just a wasteland. Like, even in some scenes where the car literally comes in from out of view, like because it's literally just blizzard and foggy. They just like a car like driving on a lone road. It's just that like I don't know, it just instantly puts you in this cold wasteland, and the characters that live there and the people that put up with this weather.
And we didn't mention it, but the music is so perfect.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, those
Music's great.
bells, like it's just because it's not Christmas, but it has that cold vibe. Like
Wintry,
after watching
yeah.
this, I was like, I am so glad I am not living in Wisconsin. I do not miss that cold. Just
Dude.
like him scraping, just too many days
Dude,
of that scraping the ice off
The
your
Coen
car.
brothers call the
He
Coen
gets run
brothers
out of
call
the deal.
Minnesota. The Coen brothers call Minnesota Siberia with restaurants.
Siberia with restaurants. I love it. It's great. He certainly paid service, I'd say, to all Midwesterners, both from Minnesota and Wisconsin. We feel proud of this
And
movie.
Tot, that quote you gave from the main cop lady, I always forget her name. She's one of the Coen
Marge?
brothers' wife.
Marge,
Yeah.
Oh, the actress's name?
Yeah.
Frances McDormand.
And she I like kind of how intense she is, because in that quote she kind of gets a little bit intense. Like, don't get snippy with me. Like, she knows when to be
Intense
Yeah.
for her, but it's still
That's true. It's still
so
very
Yeah.
like
chill
nice.
and
Like, yeah, like
nice.
don't get snippy with me. It's like a really nice way to say like knock it off, or hey, watch it, bud.
Yeah.
Like, don't get snippy with me. Don't get snippy
There's no
with
need
me.
to get snippy with me. She says it like a mom too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Hey,
That's
watch your
true. She
tone,
does.
mister.
You don't
Watch
need to
your
have that
tone,
tone
mister.
with
Yeah.
me. It reminds me of that time, Jordan, we were on the airplane and that guy had mental issues and he was yelling at people, and that one lady was like, "We don't talk that way to people." She starts acting like a mom.
We don't talk that tone. Yeah, don't take that tone. Don't talk that way. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you like any of the Coen other stuff, definitely do recommend this.
Definitely, it's a great Coen Brothers
Yeah.
film.
It's at the top of, I think I mean, out of their films, it's definitely their top five.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5 easily. I know it's hard for me to say
I
anything
don't
else.
think I
Like
can
I could
name more
easily
than
say it's
5.
over Blood Money, you know. You can always put most of their films over Blood Money. But it's so
Blood
hard, like when
Money.
you stack it up to like
Well,
Raising Arizona, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, No Country for Old Men, Burn After Reading. There's just so many films that it's hard to
yeah.
rank them,
Well,
but
and
it's up there.
it's so funny how so many of them are about deals gone wrong. Like it's
Yes,
so
we talked about that in the Big Lebowski. Yeah, every exchange about a prisoner, a hostage, every situation gone wrong. They love that. Inside
Yeah.
Llewyn Davis, you're gonna get that record deal. No, everything goes wrong every single time, and it's almost like it. But you would think it'd be more cliche, but the way it goes wrong is never as you
Yeah.
expect it.
Oh yeah, well, it throws
It's
the machine gun out the window and it's shooting in Big Lebowski.
Well, we went to the drop off. The royal we. I love it. Gosh, it's so great. Oh, it's totally crazy. So fun. Yeah, I highly recommend Fargo. I think it's a fun film. You guys should all see it. It's a fun one.
Yes.
Do you guys recommend Fargo? Cameron said he recommended it. Tatiana, Jordan, would you
Yeah.
guys recommend?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I highly recommend this film.
And the first 2 seasons of the TV show are great. And that first season is like
Amazing.
perfect.
You said first, yeah, I guess it is a law of diminishing returns because I stopped watching after part of the 3rd season and I haven't even started the 4th.
There's
So
parts of 3 that are good, and
yeah,
then by 4
parts.
it's like
It's like Prisoner Break or Prison Break.
Prison
Prison
Break.
Yeah.
Break is like first season. First season
solid, and then
masterpiece.
the second
Season 2 is like still pretty good, but
then
then
it starts to go downhill.
Yeah, I do want to watch season 1 and 2 again. I remember really liking
yeah,
those two.
and they somehow butchered having Ewan McGregor come on, son.
I
How do you
know.
butcher Ewan McGregor.
Well, ask Disney, man, because the stupid
yeah.
Obi-Wan show is so bad. A lot of people could butcher Ewan McGregor, it turns out. But anyway. So, folks, we end every podcast by sharing movies that we've seen lately and movies that we're looking forward to. Tatiana, what have you seen lately? What are you looking
That's,
forward to?
Jordan, what did I see lately?
We've been watching Vice Principal still, and you
Yes.
still love the girl from Righteous Gemstones. I forget her name, but you
I
love
don't
her
know her
so
name.
much. Yeah, every time she's on screen, Tot's just laughing everything
Mhm.
she's saying. Hilarious.
Well, and doing it's her facial expressions, it's her body, it's the way she says things. It's all of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've also been watching Arrested Development, which I already saw, but
Love that
this is
show.
really fun watching it together, and we're still working on
Wouldn't it be
Community.
crazy if we got back at them by kissing?
How would that get back at them?
And then he just laughs. He's like,
I love
You
it.
would understand. Oh, really, Michael? Drops his pants. He's got some freaking jean cutoffs.
jorts or
Yeah.
whatever.
The cutoffs. They're never
Illegal
nude. I wouldn't
scene.
understand.
I wouldn't understand.
More than
and the-
you know.
And then I love. He's like, "There's many of us," and he holds up the corn dog.
There's many of us.
There's dozens.
There's
There's dozens of
dozens.
us.
There's
Dozens.
My favorite thing though is his business card. That's the analrapist. He's like, I analyze.
I'm an
therapy."
analyst.
He's like,
The
rapist is what it reads.
The first analysis and
Analysis.
therapist. And I'll be honest, I couldn't have known it wouldn't look that good on paper.
Oh my gosh.
Analrapist.
Analyst.
So,
Rapist.
what did we watch the first half of? Oh, what's it called? Daddy's Home last night with Will
So
Ferrell.
funny.
That was a funny.
So funny.
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, and that's their
Dad
first pairing up
dies
since
in
the
that
other
one.
guys. Yeah.
That's
That's what Jordan
one.
was
That's one
saying.
that our dad real. That's one of his like guilty pleasures.
Well,
man.
as a
He
as a
like that, though.
stepdad, you can totally relate. You know, trying to connect with your
Mhm.
stepkids. So
I can
Yeah,
see
because
that.
Mark
Funny.
Wahlberg comes in and just Mr. Fun guy. Dad was shedding tears at the. I don't know if you got to the part with the motorcycle.
yeah,
when he
That's so
rides up-
funny. I'd have
up
to
the
see that.
wall. Yeah, Dad
So
was literally
funny.
like,
So yeah, I
with
really
his
want to
headache, and we had
finish
to
that
pause
one.
it.
Also on the plane, what was it that we watched together, Jordan, for a little bit, and then I don't remember if we finished it.
I
No,
think
we
all
didn't.
these movies you keep falling asleep on. So
I didn't fall asleep on that one. Only last
yeah,
night
you did.
because
I looked
was
over
so
at you, and you're like,
tired. Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay, what was that one? When
I can't remember.
It's like this writer, and they're in the wilderness.
Keep describing it.
Eldorado.
No, no. I'll
writer?
No, just keep
interject.
describing it. Well, I'll know.
Did
it.
you say
Oh,
writer
he's
or
writer.
a writer?
He's a writer, like for a
writer.
journalist that goes and he wants to interview this scientist lady that lives in the wilderness by herself, and she takes
Oh,
videos and pictures of
Continental.
eagles. Continental Divide. That
Continental
was really
It's
Divide.
got the
funny. I
actor
wanna finish it.
from Animal House. It's an old film, so it
Belushi?
started out fun. I think that's his name, right? Isn't it Belushi?
I don't remember.
That sounds
Steve
right.
Belushi.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Is it a good movie? What is it? Comedy?
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Comedy, romance, but not like a rom-com.
It's-
It's
Okay.
more geared towards guys, I think.
yeah.
The best movies are geared toward guys, Tatiana. So
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
On International Women's Day, you're saying this to me, Ty?
That's right. It is. Ty.
Is it International Women's Day?
Oh no, I shouldn't have told you that. It's a normal day. Nothing
It's
to
just-
talk about.
I'm so glad that we have it. Well, men and women aren't different, so I don't know why there's a different day to celebrate women over men or men over women. I think every day women are special.
Oh, I like that.
Aw.
Yep.
There's something else we
I've
saw.
never
Too
heard
bad my
such a
wife doesn't
lie in
listen to
my
the
life.
podcast. You get some brownie points there.
Jordan, was Puss in Boots the last thing we saw in
Hmm.
theaters? Because I could have sworn we saw something else.
No, that's I believe the last thing we saw in theaters.
Really? Oh,
M3gan.
it was so good.
I saw that alone.
Oh yeah, me
Todd,
too.
Todd doesn't like scary movies.
No,
M3gan was the least scary thing I'd seen all year.
yeah,
Puss
she-
in
we
Boots.
saw the whale.
Puss
We
in
saw
Boots,
whale.
100%,
It's more
1000%
scary.
was scarier than M3gan.
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
wolf.
kidding. The wolf, all his scenes was much scarier than anything I saw in M3gan.
Baby. Just kidding.
Unless Uncanny Valley is enough to make you scared. Because yes, seeing a CGI face and you have that face, and you're looking at it on the movie screen and you're like, something's off. That could be very unnerving, the Uncanny Valley where you're
Oh,
looking at
we
someone,
watched.
you're like,
I watched The
Whale.
Whale for a second time, and I watched it with
Yeah,
Todd
we
for
watched it and we
my
talked
birthday.
about it. We talked about life. We talked about so many things for like an hour afterwards. So that was a thumbs up because it
Yeah,
was
Ty, it's your
I haven't
favorite
watched
director.
The Whale. I'm gonna save Darren Aronofsky's The Whale. I'm gonna save The Whales. I'm gonna save The Whale. I'll just never watch it.
Dude, I love his movies
fine.
so much. I just
No, I actually do want to see that one for some reason, just because I love Brendan Fraser. I'm like, where's he gone
His
after all these years?
and
performance was
speaking of Brendan Fraser, his
Did
roller
you say
coaster-
all right for a second? Okay, so you said he's enormous. Is that what you said?
I said his performance is so good. Oh,
I thought you said he's enormous, but I was also gonna say like, oh, his performance was enormous. He was massive on screen. It just
Bigger than life.
Bigger than life.
oh, Jordan,
Those
were you
are
talking about the Mummy ride
Yeah, the Mummy ride was so
Oh.
awesome.
at Universal Studios?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah, we all just got back from Disney World and Universal Studios from Orlando, Florida. So
which is why we've been gone for weeks. Sorry, we didn't get an
that's why we
episode
look so
last week.
tan and beautiful. Yeah. And I had strep throat and I'm still coming on this podcast. No rest for the wicked. Am I right? So happy to be here. But Jordan, what about you, man? All the same movies as Tatiana? What else do you watch on your own?
Yeah, so because we had a plane ride, I like downloaded all these movies. I'm like, I'll never watch otherwise. But one of them, so I've been listening to Quentin Tarantino's new book, and he's been talking about all these old movies. So my watch list just got like huge now, and so I'm like trying to watch all these old movies. But I'm actually kind of like really liking Charles Bronson right now. He did like the old Death Wish movies, and he does all these awesome action flicks. And I'm also watching old Clint Eastwood movies. And so I've been watching like Dirty Harry, which is really fun. And I keep thinking of that Borat quote, "Make my day, Jew. I am a Dirty Harry." And
Dirty
I just,
Harold.
yeah, it's such a good film because he's chasing down a serial killer. And it's just
How many
like
shots have I fired off?
in the opening scene when he's eating the hot dog and he comes out and just starts mowing down a bunch of bank robbers. It's amazing. And then I started the second movie today. And yeah, I'm loving them. So yeah, lots of vigilante stuff, which is right up my alley.
Wonderful. Cameron, how about you, man? What have you been watching? What are you looking forward to?
I haven't seen too many things, just been super busy with school and then also vacay. But I watched Sunrise, which is like a 1927 silent film for my film class. It was
It
alright.
should make you watch Sunshine. Way better.
Dude, that movie is so funny.
I love
love
that
Sunshine.
movie.
Just staring at the sun.
Too
love
bad he
that
didn't
one
get
dude
the line
dies
in
that way.
the power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
And then I watched the season finale of season 2 of Vice Principals with Jordan and Tot, which is pretty funny.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. You were there, yeah.
Oh,
And
Cameron,
then-
your buddy Drew too recommended Lahaine, I think it's pronounced.
Yeah,
It's a
the
French film. Is
movie.
that how you say hate, Tot? Lahaine?
Lahaine.
How do you spell it?
Haine.
Oh, Le Hen.
Lahaine, maybe.
I
But
I don't know what that means.
think
a-
it's Lahaine.
It says hate on the front cover.
Yeah, I didn't learn the word for hate because I was a missionary.
I was forbidden from speaking such atrocities.
Yeah, but it was as good as he said. The ending, I mean, just elevated it to a whole nother level. I mean, the performance from Vincent Cassel is so good. He's always
Ju-
been a great actor. Huh?
Just looking at, I haven't watched any trailers, but just looking at it, looks like The Following from Christopher Nolan.
I don't know if I compare it to that. Maybe because it's black and white, but I wouldn't compare it to that at all. It's just about this hot-headed kid who thinks he's tough stuff, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I can kill, and I'm tough," and he's got a gun. He's acting all cool, but like when push comes to shove, he's not. And it's so good.
Interesting.
Holy crap! It's
Sounds more like
I'll have
Green
to
Room.
check it out.
I wouldn't compare it to that either, but yeah, it's
No, I know. Just the
Oh.
the band that thinks they're tough, punk rock, and then they get push comes to shove. they're
actually kind of
faced
thought
with
of
real-life
Taxi.
consequences.
The one I just recently saw, because there's a lot of like riots going on, and there's a lot of like anger between the police and the people, which has been a theme in a lot of movies I've been watching lately. Which is interesting that I've been watching a lot of old movies, and it just seems like that's a lot of stuff going on today. So it's just like, oh, here comes history repeating
Interesting.
itself, like it always
Yeah.
does.
Yep, for sure.
So,
Weird how
sorry,
that
Cameron.
happens.
What else
It's
were you
like
saying?
we don't learn from our mistakes. Yeah, what else you been watching, Cam?
And then I watched Kelsey's been really wanting to watch.
There's Grant's amazing picture at
Kelsey's
Disneyland.
really been wanting to watch
Disney World.
Crazy Rich Asians, so we watched that together.
I
It's
love
the
it's
that
fun,
one.
isn't it? I like
Yeah,
it.
I was actually pretty impressed. It was really fun. I really like what's her name's character from Everywhere All at Once. I think no,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
from. Is she in that movie?
I think so.
Cameron thinks all Koreans. And
No,
Asians look alike.
Here we
I know
go.
she's in the
Cameron, it's Women's
Shang-
Day. How
what's
dare
the
you.
what is it? Shang Li, the
And-
Marvel
Did you recognize the guy from The Gentleman?
Shang-Chi? Is that what you're referring
Shang-Chi, yeah.
The gangster from The Gentleman, Cameron? The main guy?
Oh, absolutely. I knew immediately. I was like, no way. They have what's his name? What's he called in The Gentleman?
I can't remember.
But
He comes
yeah.
bursting out of the scene. He's like kind of machine gun shooting it.
Yeah, and he's like, that doesn't sound like him. He's like, okay, I just want to make sure that you're still awake. And then his name is Dry Eye. Dry Eye, yeah, he's such a freaking baller.
But if you're referring to Michelle Yeoh, yes, it is. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
yeah, she's really funny. And then what I'm looking forward to watching, I'm watching Petite Maman from my film class. It looks okay.
I'm so
And
impressed,
then-
Cameron, watching all these exotic movies.
I know, really
He's
out of my
forced
wheelhouse.
to.
It's
Yeah.
out of my wheelhouse of not serial killer movies.
He's like, when do we get to like the more disturbing filmmaking?
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
I'm like, why do we
that
watch all
never
these PG
happens.
movies?
Before I forget, I want to ask really quick. 2 of the movies we reviewed made the Criterion Collection. Which 2 do you think they are?
Well, something starring
me a
Nick
hint.
Cage, obviously. you
No.
know.
Give me a hint. What's the
They're
genre?
foreign films. Does that help a little bit?
Okay.
Something
not
by
Memoir of a Murder.
No.
interesting.
We lost the audio from one.
Is
from
it Denis
Ty from one of them.
Villeneuve? Is it one of Denis Villeneuve's films?
No.
Oh,
Is it-
interesting.
We lost Ty's audio on this episode.
Oh, wait. Which one did I lose? I was so mad. I lost was it Cure?
Yeah, Cure made the Criterion Collection.
Oh, really? Wait, like
Yeah.
since we've talked
just
about it?
recently.
or-
Yeah, no. After we talked about it, it made the Criterion.
Well, let's
Collection.
just say,
Because
the
of us.
Criterion Collection listens to the podcast. They're probably like, wow, those guys really had some interesting takes, and I think we'll reconsider. And dude, we were talking about. I wish my audio didn't disappear, but we still posted it, right? You guys had a conversation about it. I went back and listened to it. And I was
Yeah,
like, "Ah."
like a conversation that's like choppy
Dude,
because it's like
Yeah, it's like, well, the two of you are kind of talking to each other. It's so crazy, but that was such a crazy movie. Yeah,
That's
about
so
the
good.
dark force of nature, like forcing this guy into this moment,
and then the
killing. Oh, it's
the other
crazy.
movie is one that Cameron wasn't on, but you did watch it with me later.
Cameron wasn't on.
Oh, is it Bedeviled?
No,
I said no. Okay, Cameron wasn't on, but watched
We
later.
reviewed it pretty recently, me and Ty, and
Oh, it's Emergency Declaration. Come on.
no.
No
That's
way,
like,
no way, no
No,
way.
think
Try not to
pres-
smile like that, Jordan.
Yeah,
You look like a
think
whore.
think prestige.
You're so smug right now. Yeah, think prestigious.
Think prestigious. It's a great writer, and I love.
Macbeth?
No,
The
I love
Macbeth?
his movies. It's a foreign film, so I mean,
Foreign
actually, I
film.
don't know if you'd call it foreign because it has
Just
American.
tell us.
All
I
right,
give up.
it's
No.
Triangle.
Banshees of Inisherin?
No.
So it's not Banshees. Is it Triangle of Sadness?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Triangle of Sadness.
Got it.
I
Okay.
was gonna give you
Dead.
hints.
I was surprised
Nice.
his other two
Second-
films,
The
Force
second half of that
Majeure.
movie sucks. The ending sucks.
No,
so
it's so
bad.
good. I love
sucks
it.
Which
so
one sucks,
bad.
Cameron?
The Triangle of
Triangle
Sadness.
Sadness
You didn't like the
sucks.
ending? Oh wait, I have to hear this real quick. Why? You just didn't need it ambiguous or something?
I just thought it was stupid to end so ambiguous. I was just like,
But it's not ambiguous. You know exactly what she's gonna do. She's taking that rock to that chick's head. Boom. It's not ambiguous. You know what's happening. She wouldn't
I
even
just-
pay her the respects
just-
to turn around, dude.
yeah, I don't know. But I'm just looking forward to watching La La Land and potentially All Quiet on the Western Front.
Wait, Ty, sorry, you gotta
Please
share what.
watch. Okay, yeah.
Wait. I know. Sorry. Well, it's
Okay.
ending. Jump back on really quick to share what you've seen. But
Oh,
make it
okay.
quick. Okay.
That's fine.
All right. And Cameron, if you don't want to get back on, you can. All right.
So my movies, yo, I was on a Disney cruise and then I was at Disney World. I watched nothing but like Disney movies except one. So let's start with the one that's not Disney. I watched a movie called Beast, or was it Wild? What was the
Oh,
Idris
yeah.
Elba one with the
Yeah,
lion?
yeah. A Beast.
Beast.
And don't confuse it with
Beast.
The Beast, not the war movie we watched.
Not the Beast.
Or is that
yeah,
the
not
Beast of War? That's the Beast of War. Never mind.
It's called something else. It's a German foreign film name. I don't remember. The Beast. Yeah, it's called Beast. And Idris
That wasn't
Elba is
German,
a
that was Russian.
beast. The whole movie was a metaphor about how Idris Elba is taking on woke culture by saying, I don't care to be the first black actor or anything. It's so limiting. I want to be the first Idris Elba. And I'm like, dude, you're now my favorite actor right now. So
I loved
yeah,
when he
love
punched the
Idris
lion
Elba.
in the trailer. I'm like, yes.
See, when I watched it, I laughed out loud in the trailer, but somehow in the movie, okay, I don't want to spoil it.
Suspense.
Has anyone seen
I
it?
was actually mad that Jason Statham never punched a shark in Meg. I was waiting for him to just be punching it. I was so excited, and I was
Yo,
like,
okay,
oh,
so-
come on.
Okay, it literally
Opportunity
had the
missed.
ending of what was missing in The Gray, the movie with Liam Neeson.
Yes. Oh well, I don't know. I like the ending. I know maybe you didn't, but when he jumped at the wolf at the end and he's like,
That's
stabbing him.
exciting, but like you cut it off at the most exciting part.
I liked it. I don't know.
It's kind of like when you're peeing and you have to cut off midstream and you're like, that's what it feels like. That's what Gray feels like.
I don't know if
it's
that's
quite a
how I would
comparison.
compare it.
Wild, on the other hand, or Beast, on the other hand, was a great cathartic.
Okay.
Yeah,
Almost.
ends great. I really liked it. Has anyone here seen it?
No, I'm
What?
It wasn't like I was anticipating. There were a
You're
few dumb
talking.
character
Mute,
decisions,
mute.
but like very seldom. And I kept thinking, but I was like, to be fair, they're kind of in keeping with the character. So I really enjoyed it, and it wasn't like what I was expecting. So I really enjoyed it. I liked the movie. I think you guys would enjoy it too. Kind of plays like, I don't know, kind of like a modern day Jaws in a way, like the lion's out there in the safari hunting you, I guess. But it was good. I enjoyed it, and it took different turns and twists that I really liked, and I wasn't expecting. So I was like, oh yeah. And it's a nice hour and 30-minute movie, and it's not a franchise. You don't need to read 3 comic books in order to know who these characters are or give a darn. It's just, hey, here's the story. It's just a movie. It's great. So
okay, cool. Yeah, I was wondering if it was any good because I had it on my bucket list, but I'm like, it's kind of far down on the list.
yeah, I like Idris Elba. I think he's a great actor. And the more I see him, and it's got your boy Cheppy.
Oh
What's
yeah.
his name? The Scottish British guy from District 9. What's his
Well,
name?
yeah,
Cheppy.
he's an
From all Neil Blomkamp movies and all the diminishing returns. But no, he's good in this movie. And
I still like all 3 of them.
what are the other 2 movies? There's Elysium, and then what was the other one? Oh, Chappie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Elysium, Chappie, and he did come out with a new movie,
District 9.
Demonic, and I couldn't even get through it. It's so bad.
Yeah. No
The
good.
trailer though looks so freaky. I was like, "Oh, this looks like an awesome horror movie," but it was just
Dude, I know. Dude, trailers, they've gotten so good at selling us on trailers these days, dude. I'll tell you, I keep watching the Oppenheimer trailer for Nolan's film. I cannot wait
I'm
for this
so
biopic.
excited.
It gave me, because after Weird Al parodied them, I almost thought it was ahead of its time, but I'm like, no, like biopics have been around for a long time. But I'm like so excited to see Nolan do a biopic about a guy I know so little about. but like even a subject matter that I know so little about. I don't even care if he takes liberties. I'll be like, I'll just take it as fact and be like, Christopher Nolan made it in his film. It must have been real.
I'm very
It's like
excited to
time
see like
travel.
where this film ranks with the rest of his movies.
Yes, I'm most excited for that. And then I'm just excited to see Cillian Murphy lay it all on the table, dude. Go for the Oscar, go everything. I just want, of course, it comes out in summertime, but I still feel like it'll be burning people's memory. And I hope it's just everyone goes to pay to go see it, go pay to go see it. And speaking of pay to go see it, I just paid for my John Wick 4 movie ticket. Not
Wait,
this
when does that
Friday,
come
but
out?
next Friday, dude.
Oh, you already bought tickets?
Yeah, about fetching tickets. I'm going to the theater. I ain't gonna miss it for the world. I'm
Do you
going
want to
with my
see that with
brother-in-law.
me, or do you want me to go
Listen,
alone?
Heck yes, go pay.
John Wick.
See it twice.
Have you seen any of them yet?
Mr.
Oh,
Wick.
awesome.
Yeah.
Would
don't
you
have
want to see
them.
it, or
You don't have to
show
see
me a
any of them.
trailer.
okay?
Show you a
I always
trailer.
show Tot trailers, and then she's like, you can go alone.
No, or I'll be like, yeah, I'm
Tatiana, you
down.
gotta watch these movies. They're so great. My wife likes John Wick.
Tot's not a huge action
Cool.
person.
Oh, John Wick, that's John Hamm, right?
No, not John Hamm. John Wick is not John Hamm. John Hamm.
That's
Although that would be an interesting.
Keanu
It's
Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
Oh, really? It's
They
Keanu
both are good
Reeves.
with guns.
No. John
Cool.
Hamm. I'm trying to think of the most action-packed thing I've seen with John Hamm.
Yeah, I
Maybe other
could've sworn
than
he was
the
involved.
town. What's John Hamm got to do with guns? What's the most? Oh, Baby Driver.
Isn't he the
I
person?
guess.
Isn't he the person who shot?
Was that
Shot
Cameron?
what?
Didn't he shoot the cameraman?
No,
No,
the dude. How dare
No,
you confuse
that's,
John Hamm with freaking Alec Baldwin, dude?
Oh yeah, they're very similar to me.
Dude, on Women's Day too, Cameron. Rest in peace, the greatest filmmaker of all time. A woman was shot by that dirty scoundrel Alec Baldwin.
I thought it was a man. It was a woman?
Yes,
it was a
he
woman.
shot
Yeah.
Tatiana. Do I need to mansplain a woman in film's death to you? This is crazy. Can't believe my ears
It's so
right
long
now.
ago.
I don't remember her name, but I do know Alec Baldwin shot her. It's awful. Whoa. They're finally doing something. I was like, I guess he's just gonna get away with murder for like months now. Jeez.
He doesn't. How was that his fault? I don't want to get in this discussion with you. Anyways,
Yeah.
they
How is
handed
it
him
his
a
fault?
loaded gun. He's an actor. He's just like, all right, boom.
Jordan,
Like-
I have a loaded gun. I'll put it in your hand. You can kill with impunity. then, with your
Okay, no one
logic.
cares. I'm gonna hop
No, but
off.
see,
This is what
I
we're
just
gonna
debunked
do.
it right there. That's how you know. But
All
anyway,
right, let's wrap this up.
slow down. I watched a lot of Disney films. I'm going to go
Oh,
through
no.
each one of them. I watched 2 of the best Disney films first. I showed my kids. Well, actually, I watched 3 of them. So I watched The Muppets, starring Jason Segel and Amy Adams, one of the best musicals.
It's not his best. I'm sorry.
It's not Jason
Muppet
Segel's best.
Treasure
It's one of
Island-
the best movies.
No,
it's a
Muppets-
great Muppet movie.
Yeah, well, Muppet Treasure Island's way better when it comes to musicals.
Oh yeah, it wasn't available on the Disney cruise. I didn't have any Wi-Fi, so I had to watch the Disney movies
Oh.
they had. So this is the best of they had, because they didn't even have all the movies, which I thought was
Oh.
weird. I'm like, why wouldn't you put your entire catalog here, Disney? Maybe because they don't even own the rights to their own movies. I don't know. Not part of Disney Plus. Yeah, it's like a cruise line deal, and I'm like, yo, it's your own ship. Anyway, I don't get it. Loved the Disney cruise. It was lots of fun, and my kids had a lot of fun. But we're not here to talk about the cruise. I'm here to talk about the movies I watched while I was on board. So I watched Goofy movie, which is probably one of the best. What do you call it? Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy.
Leave me alone and get your
Out
own
of
life.
that trio,
I know
out
that's
of
the
that
second
trio,
one,
those
but-
2 movies are like the best movie. Yeah. Why can't they get a good Mickey Mouse movie? Why can't they do a good Pluto movie? Why can't they do a good Donald Duck movie?
What's the matter, Brad? I'm just gonna keep quoting the second movie, but I know
What's
it's not
wrong,
the first.
Brad? Don't you dare call me that. Yeah, we need to review extreme.
Call
We need
me
to
that.
review a Goofy movie. When I was watching, I thought that we should watch Extreme Goofy movie.
Knock
and
it
Goofy movie.
off.
Wait,
No,
just
sorry.
real quick, because I know we're gonna do it next month. RRR. But have any of you seen it?
Not yet.
But
RRR.
Jordan,
Jordan's
have you seen it?
No, we were actually debating about watching that last night, but we chose Daddy's Home instead.
I've heard it's
Prepare
great.
for the best movie you've ever seen in your entire life.
Oh no, we actually started Marcel the Shell last night, and then we got halfway through it and we were like falling asleep. So
Just
it's
wasn't
cute.
interesting
I do want to see
enough.
Marcel the Shell.
I want to finish it.
I don't like the YouTube
think
video,
Jordan
so
wants to finish
I was kind of pushing through it. So
And so after I watched the Goofy movie and the Muppets, which I love,
oh, and the new
Maniacal Laugh,
Scream, the new Scream
Maniacal
is
Laugh.
coming
Alice
out.
Cooper's so great.
I'm gonna
dude.
go see that.
Is it Alice Cooper? Is that his name? He's the guy in it's the guy Alice Cooper. I think that's his name. He's amazing. Maniacal Laugh. I love it. And
That
dude,
was a good
I'm
part.
Texas Richmond. They call me Texas T. They call me rich because I got more money. I love his rap, dude. It's amazing.
That's
I
funny.
use more greens than Vincent Van Gogh. I get my baker to break my bread out of dough. No, no, no. Don't eat it though, because that'll make you ill. There ain't no flour in $100 bill. I love Texas Richmond's rap. It's the funniest thing. It's one of the
It-
best villains.
It was the
Searching for
best
oil.
part. I mean, the rest of it.
So good. He's so good. He carries that movie. And then I watched
It doesn't beat the most.
Aladdin.
It doesn't beat the Muppets Most Wanted tie with the babies when you were like crying, laughing. Come on, guys, this way.
Those ugly babies, dude. Ugly puppet babies, dude. Oh my gosh, demon babies. Yeah, and then I watched Aladdin, which again, not the remake. Can't watch any of the remakes. The old one's so good. Why would they remake such a
Cameron,
good
is that
movie?
guy Ritchie's best movie?
Dave Ritchie's best film. I love
Aladdin.
it. To his credit, it's
Maybe
perfectly fine.
second
It's
best.
just like, yeah, it's like a good movie, but it's like, why would I choose to watch this Aladdin over the other one?
The original,
There's
yeah.
like, there's just no reason for it. It's like
It
the
is
same with
funny
the Lion
though,
King and everything else.
that Robin Williams, he does a lot of like Ryan Reynolds references. Like he'd refer to things a lot. So a lot of his references kind of aged not well. Because like he'll be like,
Wait,
this
he did Ryan Reynolds? You mean like do
no, I'm
what
saying what
the
I'm saying
actor
is
Ryan Reynolds does?
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, he also does a lot of like references to things. And I just feel like that ages very quickly when it's like when you're referring to like things that are going on in the world.
Pop culture, yeah,
Yeah.
relevant to that
Pop
day.
cultures, that's what the word is.
But to be fair, I still think his performance is timeless.
Oh, it's
because
amazing.
because even like I don't know, his impression of
Jordan
Jack
hates dead
Nicholson.
people.
Yeah,
It's not what I saw.
yeah. Jordan's like, no, I'm not even gonna make that joke.
Okay.
You're so dark, Cameron. Now you're gonna me to think of jokes about suicide. How dare you, Cameron? That's not funny.
It's not my fault. It's your brain.
It is your fault. And then lastly, oh, what else? Oh, there's shows in there somewhere. Anyway, I've been watching shows. So other than John Wick and Oppenheimer, those are like my last two films I'm ever gonna go see in theaters. And then I'm gonna put a nail in the coffin and say, there's nothing worth going to the movies anymore. Like those
Well,
are the
Quentin
last two
Tarantino's
movies.
last movie. Whoa.
And Tarantino's last movie, yes.
Also,
Fair,
I
fair.
forgot to mention that I've finished New Girl and I started Modern Family, and Modern Family is so funny.
Yeah, you watch.
I've
Modern
never
Family.
seen it.
It's a great
so-
show. Modern Family's so funny. Yeah,
Phil's
it's
the best.
It's up there with like Parks and Rec and The Office. It's very
Look at
funny
those
and very
cream
quotable.
puffs. I love that quote from Modern Family. Excuse me, calling us cream puffs, and he's like, "Honey," and there's like little girls eating cream puffs. Good
It's
movie.
good.
Show.
No, they're so funny. Yeah, but Phil, Cameron, you said is your favorite. Yeah, he's probably my favorite.
I need to
too.
watch that with Tot. We got to start that. We started so many shows. We still
Great
haven't
show.
finished Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's so many shows to
Yeah,
watch.
or Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Great comedy shows.
Yeah.
Well, that's everything for me, I guess. I don't think of any. I'll think of something. I know I just watched the first episode of Supernatural. Is that too scary? Has anyone watched it at all? I watched the first
I
episode.
watched
I'm like,
a couple episodes of the first season.
It's pretty cheese.
cheese.
It-
Well,
but
see,
it-
my wife and I can do cheese because like I watched all
Yeah.
of Buffy.
But
And
it's like
Dexter.
it's a weird
Dexter.
mix. It's like
Yeah.
like trying really hard not to be cheese, but in the fact of trying so hard is a little bit cheese.
Well, but
Love it.
Yeah.
that's a lot of TV shows of that era. Kind of just have.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
But
like
okay, it has 15 seasons, so like it must have done well. Is my point. Like there's a reason.
it's kind of like
for
it's perfect
15
high
years.
school. Like
Yeah.
it was like a lot of times when I would go to hang out with people, like it was a really easy one to put on because it's
Yeah.
like scary, but like not
Spooky.
really actually scary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like would you say it
And
was
then girls-
supernatural even?
yeah. Girls would just be like, "Oh my gosh, it's so scary," but it wasn't actually scary.
And Cameron's like, oh, hold on to my
And
my
I was
shirt."
busy holding on to my boys, and I was like, "Guys,
Your
I'm so
boys? Are
scared."
you referring to your pecs or your abs?
I was referring to my homies.
Oh, your actual friends. Like, hold on to these sick puppies.
No, I was busy holding on to the homies. I don't care about women.
All your man friends were afraid of the movie. Snuggle up closer, guys. It's gonna be all right.
Kiss me, huh?
Anyway, I was just curious because like I'm looking for a new show right now. I'm in a show hole, which I'm sure you guys have all been in. Does anyone have a recommendation for a new show I need to be
Person of
watching?
interest.
Please don't give me person of interest. Interesting. I was gonna do you guys had on your list, or maybe I had it, a Designated Survivor with Jack Bauer. What's his name?
Kelsey
Kiefer
loved
Sutherland?
Kelsey loved the first season of that. But
Yeah.
she said it got too much language, so you might like it.
Language doesn't.
Mom and
affect me.
dad really liked it too, and then they said it started getting too much language. So
Well, that's because Netflix
it's like 24.
Netflix bought them, and then they stopped censoring. And they started using F words. So
It literally like narrates, and it's Kiefer Sutherland's voice. It's very much harkened back to 24, and it's got me a little giddy. I was like, maybe I should just watch 24 again, or I could always watch Game of Thrones.
Dude, no, yes,
yeah,
yes.
I'm not gonna watch Game of Thrones.
Yes, dude. Oh
Dude,
my gosh.
Grant, and you guys were all like, "Oh, I love Game of Thrones," but I should mention that I hated the last season. I'm like, well,
see,
what's
but
the point?
same
for
as a
me,
lot of
it's-
shows. That's a
it's
lot
still-
of shows.
It's
What
still the
about
best TV
Supernatural?
show
They
I've
have
ever
15
seen in my
seasons.
life.
I don't think anyone complains about the end of Supernatural, do they? I actually don't know.
Because no one's even got to the end of Supernatural, like Walking Dead.
Who can watch 15 seasons? The episodes are 40 minutes long. I was like, I'm never going to get through this. But
And
that's my point.
Aren't they
That's
20
why you
minute
start
or
a show
20
like that,
episode
because I'll
seasons?
never have to find another show for another 3 years of my life. That's
Dude,
why I got to find something to watch.
I'm so tempted to start Death Note again.
Oh, and Jordan, what was the other movie? It's got Casper from Starship Troopers. The movie I texted you, Daughter.
Oh,
Do you want to see that
Alright,
one?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
hop off.
some
I
of my
watched a
those.
podcast that a guy that made it, and he talked about it, and it does seem like a movie I want to see. This family like kidnaps this woman, and he's like, "You're in our family now." It's kind of creepy. It's like if Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt wasn't a comedy meets 10 Cloverfield Lane meets what's another kidnap movie. Anyway, I really wanted to see it. That's why I mentioned it to you. So put it on your list.
It
Keep
is.
an eye out for it. It said it on streaming. I went to Amazon. You could rent it for $5, and I was tempted to watch it. It's like an hour and a half.
And then you realize I have 10,000 other movies you could watch.
I know. Well, okay, folks, this has been Futro Hidden Movie Gems. Leave us an email, futuromovies@gmail.com. Check us out on YouTube. Got all of our movies posted there. Leave us a comment of a movie you'd like us to review or a movie that we reviewed in the past. You didn't like our commentary about it. Suck it up, Buttercup. It's Women's Day. So be a man about your womanly problems and your manly problems too. So everybody, this has been Futro Hidden Movie Gems.
Be a woman.
All you men and women out there, especially women, you enjoy yourselves and have yourself a namaste, a nice day. Take it easy. Happy days. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, yeah.